The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
It's coming.
All these voices. All these voices.
They're not yours. You had no right to them when you were alive, and you have no right to them when you're dead. That's what it sounded like. Good, so you know who I am. Because then you know I'm not playing. You're going to let those women go. In Jesus' name, you're going to let those women go.
Is there a demon here watching us right now? Watching us right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Staring into the Abyss. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr., and with me, as always, old boy James Ash. And we have Andy here tonight, Andy Andrews. You guys know him from We're Screwed, and he's been on here multiple times. He brought to our attention something that's going on that's pretty screwed up. And I'm not going to try to get like real deep into detail on this right now because I'm going to let Andy do that, let him tell the story because he knows it way better. But we talked in the past about the paranormal community, all the drama, all the bullshit that has been going on in this field lately for quite a while, actually. We've talked about scammers, we've talked about fakes, we've talked about wannabes, we talk about all that shit, right? This is even worse. This is like bullying and cult-like behavior. It's some really crazy shit. So definitely stay tuned. This is going to be a hell of a show. And I'm going to just let Andy tell his tale here about what's going on, and then we'll talk about it as we go. So, Andy, go ahead, brother.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. So, yeah, there's a situation with a certain group called Get Haunted that's out there. Their leader, Rob. I wanted to do this. I wanted to make aware and put this out there because things are pretty drastic. There's a difference between some of the paradrama that's out there where somebody's saying, oh, you're faking the picture and you're, lying about this or, this, or you're just trying to be famous, all the stuff that's out there. But when you get to a point, man, that there's people being, when their well-being or their life is threatened, would be one situation. When you're, bashing a gay guy that's in the community that's a really good guy. You're going after other ones, an asexual individual, making fun of that situation. But, kind of the last straw for me was one, he made remarks about a young lady that's in the paranormal community, and kind of the backstory to it is he, had gotten some people, like when he first started Get Haunted, he decided to go out, and I believe that he started a team off of, I think it's called U.S. Ghost Adventures, and they were a group, man, if you're any kind of paranormal person that, goes out to places like Penhurst or Wilson's Castle, or anywhere like that, you probably heard this name because that group, they ended up kind of dissolving because of their shitty practices. Their business practices were crap. A lot of people were getting screwed by them. And if you ever did a little bit of research, you would see that a lot of familiarity between, that group and then Get Haunted. And Get Haunted, they have some really good people in there. So this isn't me calling out everybody that is part of that. But I think what needs to happen here is people need to realize, man, I mean, I know Rob, I don't know Rob well, but I know what I'm seeing happening and becoming yesterday harassed by him or a threat. There's a group that's out there that started a Facebook page. They kind of got it together for people to be able to come in and actually share their experience that they had with Get Haunted or with Rob, and not experiences that are good. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm coming at. At some point, you got to stop things. At some point, I mean, if I had to throw it out there and say that if I wished that, you know, this is what I would like to see the ending being, and that would be, man, that the possibility of Rob just owning up to doing the things that he's done to people. I don't know if that's possible. It is very scary. Like, somebody did call him a cult because it's got that kind of look to it, man. When you go on a live and you talk about somebody and you say things, you know, and people are in your chat and they're saying, oh, I've got her address and I've got her phone number and I'll take care of her, she'll be taken care of, and they don't stop that, or they don't you know, bring light to, hey, we don't want to do anything like that. But the thing is, certain things have been happening, man, where weapons were shown, and they talked about actually using those weapons on an individual and her dog, which that has now led to this individual, you know, fearful for her safety, and also Rob bragging about it. Also, Rob talking about that he brought guns to the Paracon at Pennhurst. You know, you're getting a little bit out of line with that. You know, saying things about the individual, you know, that's homosexual, and you know, it's just on and on with different people throughout the community that he has went after, and it just seems like a lot of the paranormal drama with a lot of the people that are connected with the drama and the paranormal, he's like a common denominator. You know what I mean? And it's like, but there's one thing to talk crap about somebody, but there was the latest thing that happened, and I'm just keeping the names out of it other than his and, you know, the group. He has the Get Haunted Network, and it's, you know, numerous of people that have different podcasts on there and shows that do things. Some of them are really good people. And this individual, she decided to, you know, release herself from the network. You know, it had to do with personal reasons. Also, it had to do a little bit with this, what I was just talking about the threats of hurting somebody or taking a gun to them or cutting their dog's head off and putting it in the lap of their owner and stuff. This is the stuff that is being said. But the thing is, you know, this individual that had the podcast, very sweet girl, you know, takes things like, she puts her whole heart and soul into shows, and, you know, being just a very positive, and this is my opinion only, but I bet a lot of people would follow me up to say the same thing, very positive influence in the field. She has never, ever, ever, that I know of, had too many issues until this happened. Supposedly there's a new venue out there, and, you know, anyway, there's always an excuse by his actions. But what happened with her was that he went and dug deep into the past of this individual and her husband and found some stuff that, you know, he started to blackmail her with it, and was talking about, I'm going to release this to everybody. You know, I don't know what the whole conversation was or not, but that's what it comes down to, is that he was going to use that information to, you know, make her, the podcast, her family, you know, just bring shame, just character bash. And from my understanding, this is something that happened a while back. But still, it doesn't matter. This individual, she got up on social media, on Facebook, and she said, this is what he's going to use, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. She put it out there exactly what he was going to. But let's rewind back a little bit. Days and days of harassment from this individual, or from Rob on her, led this woman to almost take her own life. And that's serious stuff, man. When you start talking about using weapons and you start talking about doing things to people physically, and, you know, you have people saying that they, you know, he, you know, in a post in private chats, and I won't go into how people seen these private chats, he had given out my friend's address, work address, phone number, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but I do know the addresses were. And then that's when individuals, when he would go on lives, he would start talking about, you know, subliminal, really just saying things that was pretty much pushing people to go do something to this girl. And had people that were very proud to oblige the situation. We're talking about the paranormal community, man. You know, we're talking about paranormal. We're talking about a business. I mean, you know, I'm not against somebody going out there and branding their stuff and making a living at it or whatever, you know, that you want to do with it. But, you know, you're going to have individuals that aren't going to like your product. You're going to have individuals that will start out trying to help you. But the problem is, man, is that, in my opinion, they charge way too much money to go do things. And these nights, I've never been to one. You know, one of the guys that he actually was going after, the asexual gentleman, said that he went to one of their events and it actually was really good. But the thing is, you know, most of the reason why these individuals I'm talking about, other than the one with the podcast, ended up leaving this group was because not only they weren't getting any kind of pay for doing what they were doing, but they were missing time from work, taking vacation time, stuff like that. And it got to a point that, you know, they had to tell him that, you know, hey, we can't do this anymore. I mean, when you're losing things and you're going bankrupt to help some individual to get their name out there with promises of possibly getting paid at some point, you're starting to see all this money rolling in. Now, me not knowing anything about what's put out, anything like that, you know, if he couldn't pay them, then, and they went to him honestly about it, why is he chasing them down and threatening them and trying to ruin their character? You know, if you have some kind of a disagreement, man, with somebody, why does it have to be that you got to ruin them as much as you possibly can? But where I'm going with this is, okay, I posted on this Get Unhaunted page because I made a joke, and it was a joke not to make fun of him or nothing. But this individual decided that he was going to go online and do a live about all these individuals that are attacking him, because that's what it's been for 2 years, from what I can remember, of somebody trying to ruin him. He's always the victim, you know. And he literally was going to, he said he was going to do a pay-per-view. So literally people were going to pay. Now, he said he was going to give the money to this one event place or whatever, or location, and he may very well would have done that. But it's just the point is that you're asking people to pay for you to go on and spread more hate and more lies and more harassment. And then there would have been individuals that would have paid that because, you know, that's where the cult-like mentality comes in. I know that Rob preys on people that have low self-esteem. I know he preys on people that just want to feel like they fit in somewhere. And he grabs these people, a lot of times just females, and brings them in and makes them feel like they're part of something. And then there's all these conditions that follow. That's kind of what happened with a couple of individuals I'm talking about. And then when they didn't want to be in it anymore, from my understanding with them, he would do like, he would tell one individual that they were talking crap about the other individual. And this one did this. And then he was talking about the one that he threatened to kill. you know, he made it look like that, you know, she wanted him and he was turning her down, when really we think that most likely, by hearing things, my gathering of the information is that really it was reversed. This young lady, she's a beautiful person inside and out, but she's a little gal, and she was very endowed up top, her breasts. And so she, I'm sure through a doctor and stuff, she had to end up getting a reduction because it was causing medical issues. And anyway, through one of these conversations that he's having with a room of people, even though it's private chat, still, he showed these weapons. That's when he said, there's one on the left for her, one on the right is for the dog. And then another individual in the group chat was asking, who are you talking about? And he says their name, or I believe he said their name, or he said, and the other one says, oh, is that the one you said that was hot? Or he thought she was hot or something. And he said, yeah, until she cut her tits off. And made remarks about that a couple times. And, you know, man, that is just, it's wrong. And this is an individual that will get up on a screen and talk about all the wonderful things that he's doing, you know, putting unity together, bringing all this happiness to people and stuff like that. And then behind closed doors, you got him threatening people's lives. You got him shaming them for, you know, body shaming them for her procedure she had to get done. You're harassing the person and blackmailing them to the point that they're about ready to commit suicide. You're, you know, sending or giving out the vibe that, you know, anybody sees these people, they're supposed to do something to them or hurt them or whatever. You know, and I know some things are said out of anger sometimes, but this is like, man, if you're going to be in a community and you're going to be out there a lot and stuff, you know, you got to kind of think about what you're doing. But I think it goes deeper than that, man, because it's how could an individual logically go for 2 years and have all these people trying to ruin him? And why is he always the one that they're going after? Because I can tell you the individual with the breast thing and the dog and the weapons didn't even know about this, and it was brought to her, you know, several months later. And it's just like, you know, I want to put out there that if people want to support that, you know, I just don't support that. And I know there's good people that are part of that organization or whatever you want to call it. But the thing is, these people, man, they're starting, I mean, James, you would know, you know, cultish behaviors such as everybody's getting a tattoo of Get Haunted on their arm. You know, everybody's like, you know, they have people, they talk about unity and stuff, but then all the pictures that they take at events is all of them standing there giving the middle finger. And, you know, that is for individuals, I guess, that don't agree with their group or whatever. I mean, the list goes on, man. The list just keeps going. I mean, he's attacked so many people, but he does it into a style that comes back to make, you know, him look like that it's all on everybody against him. But these people follow him, man, like blindly a lot of times. And I mean, everybody we're not the only, you know, this podcast tonight is not the only one that's been out there telling things. And, you know, I just don't know how to handle it, because what I end up is, I said last night on the Facebook page, the one that's not Get Haunted, it's Get Unhaunted. And I said, you know, these individuals are hurting, man. They're living in fear. They're looking over their shoulders, stuff like that, for just leaving this man's group, you know. And, you know, that's some Charles Manson shit right there, you know what I'm saying? And so anyway, I made a comment. I said, hey, does anybody know when the pay-per-view is, because I may need the budget for it. And it was just that everybody got a big kick out of it, man. It kind of broke the ice because I'm talking to one of the individuals. She's pretty upset about, things. And, so I did that. And, I forget what it was. Somebody said something about that he's getting a lot of blowback for doing that because he's, going after this other girl that almost ended her life. And so when they said that, I said, well, I was just trying to figure out, I said, well, I guess, man, there's no use for these foam middle fingers, and all this popcorn is going to go to waste or something like that as a joke. Now, maybe that's tasteless to a point. Okay, I'll give it that. But that's not threatening somebody's life. You know what I mean? And anyway, within minutes, man, well, it might not have been that quick, but within a little time went by, I get a private message from Rob, and his first line is, do you think it's funny, or do you feel good about yourself or something? Because I put a laughing emoji on something. I think I know what it is, but anyway, he said, do you think it's funny to humiliate a woman in public? And I'm like, I couldn't even think. So I asked, I told him pretty much in a nutshell what I told him. I didn't threaten him, nothing like that. I just told him I wasn't playing the effing game, that I wasn't going to deal with him, and how dare him try to throw something at me about disrespecting a woman after the things that he's done to these individuals. And I told him that, I said, man, the way I look at things, dude, I said, all these people that supposedly are coming after you, or all this drama that's going on, has one common denominator, and that's you. And I said, and I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. And I said, I don't have time for it. I don't want it, but I'm going to stick up for my friends that support me. And he said, oh, Mr. Love and Light, you spread Mr. Love and, he said something about me, preaching that I'm love and light. And he said, you're false. Then he said, all these stories that you make up is all bullshit, and you're a bullshit person. Told me to fuck off. And then that's when the threat came, that he knew a lot about me or something. People warned him about me, which I wouldn't know who that would be. You know what I'm saying? But then he said, pretty much he's going to put out there the person that I really am, and that's a threat right there, And I pretty much told him back. I said, my closet is wide the fuck open, and there's all my skeletons. You're more than welcome to, read or ask questions or something, I'm not hiding anything. I've always been pretty much the same person, except, by the grace of God, I changed a whole lot, and I'm not the angry person I used to be, and that's a whole different other topic. But regardless, there's nothing really that I can remember on my record that I'm not afraid to talk about, because it's not that big of a record. You know what I mean? And I don't mean record like as just police. I'm talking about my life. Anything, that I've done that may have seemed, not good. We've all screwed up in life, and that's what you learn from. But there's nothing that I've done that's that horribly terrible. And so go ahead. But my thing is to tell me stories. I don't know what stories he's talking about. I don't know what, any of this, because I've been in this field, man, for 36 years, somewhere around that. And my experiences have been my experiences. And, why would I want to make up anything? Like, I'm not worried about being famous. I'm not worried about having a shit ton of followers or anything like that. But what I do like is to educate, talk about it, and, have fun and help people. And that's exactly why I came on here tonight, to warn people that if you're supporting these people, especially Rob, you're supporting a man that is, in my opinion, not all the way together. You can see him crying one morning about people getting on him, literally, and then within hours he's on there talking about, how badass he is, and we're all going to band together. Another thing that he's done, he was upset with some businesses, I guess, or something, or people of businesses. So he is threatening, or talked about, which it is a threat, of blacklisting businesses all the way from Virginia up to Connecticut, and this is, or somewhere up there. And this is where the mentality comes as a cult, man. And he said, and my followers will not, they will be told not to shop in these places, and it's like, wow. I've watched him tell people, what they could and couldn't do, have them where they can't, leave the event table. It's just one thing after another, man. And it got to a point that when you go after individuals like that, and this starts to happen, then somebody needs to bring some light on it, some awareness. And there is a ton of other stuff. I'm not going to get into that, but what it simply comes down to is that if we don't take care of bullies, harassers, blackmailers, and then now plotters to hurt somebody in any community, then we're not, if we know about it and we're not doing anything, then, we're not doing anything. We're just causing more harm. And I made a promise to a couple of these individuals that any way I could put the word out there, I would. And I'm sure by saying this and doing this tonight, the possibility of me getting harassed or people this or people that, coming after me with that thing would most likely happen, and I'm not worried about it. Yeah, there's a paranoia with him that is absolutely, right in your face if you get to know him a little bit. And I think that paranoia goes to the point of, most people that have some kind of paranoia about things, they either go in hiding or they, stay away from things. But then there's other individuals, man. I had a situation that, has nothing to do with Get Haunted. I had a situation where a gentleman was, mad at me. Didn't know the whole story. Wanted to point fingers and stuff and everything. That's fine. But then the threats of this individual said he was going to take a gun and blow a hole in my head. Then he told me that he, made the comment that he was coming with a gun to a certain event and going to shoot my face off. And the thing is, man, when that happened, being scared, not really, of the individual. What scared me is the looseness in a person's mindset to even make that threat. But on top of it, knowing this person has a concealed or carries a gun, and also that they are kind of schizophrenic a little bit, paranoid about everything. They make up stuff. They think, people are going to jump them and all this other stuff. And then there's, alcohol involved. There's partying involved, and you get somebody like that, man, and you're in a room full of people at like a Paracon or something. That's some scary shit, man, because some people could die. You have kids in there and everything else. And that's the thing, like with, Rob, carrying weapons to a Paracon. Obviously now he hasn't done it. So which is it? Did you carry weapons there and have them in your vehicle and showing them off, to threaten? Or did you not bring them and you bullshitted just to make yourself look like a big man? And either one of them is not a good thing. But, my thing is, it's getting to a point, man, that people are branding themselves with his brand. That's cool if that's what you're into. But the thing is, they do that. They're all showing their tattoos, and then they're flipping people off, and stuff like that. And, you know, James, all three of us have been in part of the paranormal community for some time. And I know it's frustrated both of these guys as well as me to almost just walk away from it. But something like this, we cannot continue to let happen. And when you get to a point that come look at it, guys. It's paranormal. It's something that is a love and a passion for people. For some people, it is a job. Some people, they do make an income at it. But the thing is, it's still something that is somewhat of a hobby. And you're flipping out bad enough to threaten someone's life, and then also to drive a person with your mental tactics and harassment and talking, you're blackmailing them. And that's what he was trying to do with me, thinking, I guess he was going to blackmail me with something where I'd, you know, give in or something like that. And man, I don't threaten people very often anymore, but I can tell you that, you know, one thing I can promise you, this individual shows up around any of these people to try to harass or hurt them in any way, you know, I will not contain myself to make sure that I keep those people safe. And that's just not a threat. That is just what I'm going to do. These people are dear to me. It would be the same thing I'd do for both you guys and a lot of people, man. We've got, you know, enough bullshit out here in the world that we let individuals like this out here just do whatever they want, threaten people and stuff, and it's just not right. And if you want to yell about bullying, harassing, and stuff like that, you know, you can't just allow one person to do it because they make you feel like you're part of something, you know, and just shut up, dude. Go do your thing. Get off of people. Quit trying to pull that, you know, alpha freaking thing that you're doing, but you've really hurt some people. And that's what I'm trying to put out there, is that if a person is okay with hurting people to the point of suicide or, you know, scared to go out of their house or scared to do this or that, then that's something serious. And it's not to be taken lightly where you find it funny that you're going to do a pay-per-view or you're making fun of people and flipping them off. And then part of this group, man, fat shamed me. And the thing is, I was trying to help one of these individuals. I was trying to network them and help them out with the business that I run. Had been with this individual all weekend, and this is some time back. And then this situation was talked about. I'm sending a message to this person trying to get some pricing and stuff, so I can go with it to give it to the people I needed to see if we could help them out and, you know, have their product in, you know, certain stores. And when they sent it to the person that makes the decisions on pricing, this person asked who I was, and the other individual, one, said I was a fat ass that rode on the success or something of other people to feel bigger, talking about, I guess, the store, you know, the company I work for. And then talked about a meeting, because I told her I was going to have a meeting with somebody, and if they could get the pricing to me, I could throw it out there during this meeting. And the individual she was talking to was actually talking sensible and said, well, yeah, I could throw something together. You know, maybe we shouldn't talk about this individual or something like that if they're trying to help us. And she said, there ain't no meeting. The only meeting he has is at Golden Corral. You know, now I'm trying to help you. I don't need a pat on the back. I'm not trying to be a savior or a good guy. That's what we need to do in this field, man. We need to network each other's ideas. We need to, you know, hear each other's stories and stuff like that. But man, it's out of control, has nothing to do with trying to be famous anymore or nothing like that. This has to do with life and death situations, man, and mental strain on people to the point that some of them, I'm sure, I've talked to other individuals that asked me not to tell their story about what he did to them, but they have PTSD, man. They literally, certain things kind of scare them now because they don't know if one of these people are going to be just around the corner, you know, or they, you know, have things that happen. I don't know what other things have been done. There's those assumptions out there. I'm not going to put that out there because that's exactly what it is, without me researching. But the point is, man, I'd like to get your all's idea on it. How, you know, what would you put out there about this? But like I said, man, I'm not trying to say everybody like go after this guy. No, not that. Quit supporting assholes like this that are doing things to people, because it's getting really serious, man. I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't help a person, you know, talk them down or anything like that, or at least tried, and they ended up committing suicide, because that's very dear to me. I've had a situation like that. But when you have to walk around feeling like, oh my God, you know, is this going to be, you know, the day that somebody attacks me or something? No, fuck that, man. And that's where I'm at with it. You know, I'm sure that I'm going to get slammed and everything else. You know, my life is just fine where I'm at, and, you know, do what you got to do. But maybe if you come off them and come on me, that's fine. But there you have it.
This kind of bullshit is the reason why a lot of really, really good people have left the field. We've lost people that were damn good researchers. We've lost people that are damn good investigators, that were actual scientists, that were trying to actually find answers. All because of a bunch of dipshits who want to run their fucking mouth all the time. And I'm not talking about Rob Tonsil Hockey, whatever the fuck his name is. I don't care what his name is. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. I never heard of this asshole. Fuck him. I don't give a shit. Who he is. You know what I mean? I don't care. But the point is, because of shit like this, you're losing good people that are actually out there trying to help people and do good. And the paranormal field as a whole, you guys, you gotta get your shit together. You know, you gotta stand up and stop this shit. It's ridiculous. Grow the fuck up. We are all supposed to be adults, correct? Y'all are acting like a bunch of fucking toddlers. It is absolutely ridiculous. And to the people that follow this guy, I mean, this is, you said it right, Charles Manson type shit. This is just like the Church of Scientology. That's what they do. You try to get away, they follow you, they harass you, they terrorize you. It's the same bullshit. You know, it's fucking ridiculous, dude. There's no sense in it. You know, and I don't know the whole story. Like I said, I've never even heard of this fucking guy before Andy said something about it. You know what I mean? So it's not like I got some grudge against some nobody that I don't care about. I don't give a shit about this guy. I don't like the fact that he's harassing women. That's kind of fucked. You know what I mean? One thing I can't stand in this world is a wife beater, a woman beater, somebody who terrorizes and tries to intimidate women. Because that's some pussy shit. Only a coward goes after women. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. So if that's what's taking place here, if that's what this guy is actually doing, then I got no respect for this dude. You know? And as far as all of his followers, you got to realize most of this is just bullshit. Most of this is just this. It's people flapping their fucking gums, talking big, talking shit. They ain't actually going to do a damn thing. You know, that's what these kind of people do. I mean, what it is you got some little dweeb who probably in his normal life is completely powerless. Right? He's probably the kind of guy you used to grab and throw into the fucking locker in school and slap around because he's a little bitch boy, right? He's one of those guys, most likely. So he gets a little position of power where he thinks he is somebody. And he has other people that look at him with some kind of respect or some kind of like, oh, look at him, he's a big deal. And that shit goes to the fucker's head, and he starts ordering people around and shit like that. And telling them, oh, you can't be a part of us if you don't do it this way, or this way. Right? It's that power trip. It's the same thing Manson got on, the same kind of trip. Where you got to conform to his rules. Otherwise, you're not allowed to do this. And if you try to leave, That makes him look bad, so he's going to terrorize your ass. It's the same old story we've heard a million fucking times. And it's always some little pipsqueak of a man who ain't shit. You know what I mean? Who in an actual face-to-face situation is going to cry like a little bitch and run away and piss himself. That's always what it is. And I'm not saying this dickhead is that. I don't know this guy. I don't fucking know. He may be the biggest, baddest son of a bitch out there. I have no idea. But the stereotype, the mold of these type of people is that. They're weaklings. And that's why they go after women, usually. It's because they're not man enough to step up to a man. Because a man will whoop their fucking ass. So instead, they go and they pick on some woman and try to terrorize her and make her cry. You got somebody wanting to off themselves over this shit? What the fuck are you doing, dude? Does that make you feel big and bad and strong and powerful that you can make a woman scared? That she's got to look over her fucking shoulder? Thinking about taking her own fucking life because she's so afraid? Does that get you off? Does that make you feel like a big bad man? It's pathetic. That's some punk shit, man. You know, that's what I say about it, and I'm not worried about these fucking people, dude. I don't like what's going on. You know, this is why I don't fuck with the paranormal anymore. You know, we still work cases now and again if we're needed, but I don't do events. I don't network with paranormal people anymore. I don't do any of this shit. Because this kind of nonsense is permeating the entire fucking field. And the reason it's doing that is because of TV. Because all these fucking people think they're going to get famous and get on TV and get rich doing paranormal bullshit. So they get on there, they lie, they fake, they pretend. They try to get power. Oh, look, I've got a network and we got all these shows on this network. Okay, so fucking what, dude? Anybody can do that. Like, you can literally go to Mixler or someplace like that, or what that blog talk radio bullshit, and pay fucking $40, $50 a month and have a bunch of shows on there. Doesn't make you a fucking big shot. You're not making anything off of it. You're paying them to put your show on. But these fucking people always think they're stars. Ooh, look at me. I got a radio show. I'm a big deal. I got a fucking on this network or that. Who gives a fuck, man? Do you still got to go to work every day? Do you still got to pay your bills? Are you out on a fucking yacht? Are you flying all over the country? Can you do whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want? No. Your stupid ass still has to go to work like everybody else. You ain't shit. I'm so sick and tired of these idiots who think they're famous. These idiots who think they're big shots. Y'all ain't nothing, man. And I'm not bragging like I'm some big fucking deal. You never hear me do that. I'm just saying y'all are nothing. So what if the fucking guy don't like you? Fuck him. Who gives a fuck? That's what I would say to this lady and to all these other fucking people. Fuck this guy. Don't listen to their bullshit. Just fucking block them and move on with your life. Carry your own weapon. I'll tell you one damn thing. Every woman in my life is armed. And I have taught them how to use those weapons. Because like they say, a restraining order is just a fucking piece of paper that don't mean nothing. So if anybody walks up to somebody I love, believe me, they're gonna learn real fucking quick that you don't do that bullshit. So that would be my advice. Just live your life. Fuck these people. If they come and they try to start some shit, end them. Done. Fuck them. Who are they to try to inspire fear in anybody? They're a bunch of fucking nobodies who think that they're big shots. Who gives a fuck about these people, man? And to everybody in the paranormal field, this is the last thing I'll say, then I'm going to throw over to old boy. To everybody in the fucking paranormal field, y'all got to stop this shit. Nobody should be working with these idiots. Okay? If you're a fucking reputable person, if you've got a TV show, if you've got a big show of any type, any of that shit, you shouldn't be working with these assholes. Because if they're doing this kind of shit and they are attacking women and they're harassing people, and like I saw the actual fucking messages that Andy's talking about. So I can tell you they're real. I saw them. So this kind of bullshit, it's got no place, man. And anybody that's working with these people, partnering with these people, you ain't working with me. I'll tell you that fucking much. I'll never do a damn thing with you if you're working with people like this. Because I want to work with people that have character. I want to work with people that don't do ignorant shit to other people. You hear love and light, you hear all this bullshit terminology that's nonsense. It's all new age bullshit. It all boils down to the good old Bible, man. Do unto others as you have them do unto you. So if you don't want somebody harassing you and making your life a living hell, then maybe you ought not do it to other people. Or in old redneck terms, act like you got some fucking sense before you get slapped down. Because that's what's going to end up happening to these people. I ain't making a threat. I don't even know them. I don't give a shit about them. But I guarantee you this. You fuck with the wrong one, somebody's going to take care of your ass. That's what's going to end up happening to you. You're going to get a husband, a brother, a dad, something like that. A man's going to step up and handle this shit if you keep fucking around. So just act like you got some sense. I just, for the life of me, dude, I don't fucking understand people anymore. I don't understand why people think that shit's okay. Take paranormal out of it. Take fame out of it. Take money, take TV, take all the bullshit away. Just on a human level, what the fuck makes you think it's okay to terrorize a woman? That is some pussy shit, man. I got no respect for you. Fuck you. That's what I think. Oh boy, go ahead, brother.
Well, I'm famous. And I'm just playing. Here's the problem I have. And this is what I'm going to tell you guys. This is why people ain't saying nothing. Because they're too worried that something's going to come back to them. Or they have something on them. Or some of these people who are famous have back past that they don't want brought back up. And so they allow this shit to go on. And this is why it keeps happening. And it's not just something that's been happening for a couple months. It's been happening for a couple years. And we've been hearing about it for at least over a year and a half. The problem is you have people who are working together who have side things going on, and they don't want people to know that. And that's why things get like this. When I've been in the paranormal world for 10 years, I have never had any issues. And this is in California, crazy as it sounds. I've never had these kind of issues. I've had people talk shit. Oh, they think they're famous. But now you have a bunch of people, I'm not going to say a cult, but this guy, I don't know who he is, and I have no issues with him. He's never done nothing to me, and he probably will try to do something. And whatever, bro. Remember, don't pick and choose your wars. That's all I'm going to say on that one. I will tell you this. If this is how it's getting, where you have people who are so addicted to being famous that they're going to make little cliques like they're gangs and put tattoos on themselves and stuff like that and threaten women and making fun of homosexuals and trans and stuff like this. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, you better hope certain people don't get a hold of this, especially the LBG community. You don't want them after you. I'm going to tell you this right now. If this comes out, people can get that passed around. You'll have a bigger problem on your hands than you think, especially with that issue. That's an issue you don't want to deal with. You'll have those people protesting you, and you're pretty much going to be done. It could go another way. Like James said, you could get somebody's family too pissed off at you. They might know somebody, but that's not all that could happen. You going after certain people, that can cause you a lot of problems with that community. And just so you know, a lot of us know that community. It could get tossed to other communities like TikTok and other social medias. It could blow up on you really bad. So it doesn't have to just be what he's saying. It can just go bad on you altogether. Bad things could happen. When you say certain things and you start going after certain groups of people, it could be taken wrong. And that's a way you really don't want to go. I get it. Some people have their opinions. That's fine. But when you're actually saying this shit and you're actually going after women and bullying women and threatening all this stuff, it's not going to happen. And just like stuff that Andy was saying, there was a certain individual was doing all this shit and had nothing to do with this group that were saying crazy shit and threatening stuff. And certain people didn't do nothing about it, and then they want to act like they did, And I'm not going to get into that. But this is the problem, because they're too worried about their name because they want to be famous. They don't care what happens. And I'm going to tell you something. This is what's going to happen. If something happens to somebody, they're going to find out you had something to do with it or you knew about it, and you can be liable for this. I'm just going to be honest with you. If something does happen, this is how it works. They investigate everything. They go down your phone. They find out everything you've done. And even if somebody just heard something and there's witnesses around or something said, you can be thrown involved in it too. This is where people make a big mistake. Well, I've known him for 30-something years. I don't give a fuck if you've known him since he was born. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you right now, when the law gets involved or lawyers and all this, a lot of people talk a lot of shit, but when it comes to when they're getting their asses sued, they change their whole fucking words. Because trust me, it's probably going to happen. It's already proven. I've seen it before. I've dealt with it with people trying to sue them. I don't like doing that, dude, because I live in a state where it's famous for that. But there's other repercussions to this. If somebody gets a hold of this, a certain somebody, and it gets put in another universe, you're going to have they're gonna go after everything. They're gonna look up your past and see what you've done. That's why you got to watch what you say. We know this. Trust me. With our other show we do, we're very controversial, and certain people will go after you. It doesn't matter what we say or do. They just will. People are crazy. Trust me. I've had people threaten me. I've had people try to do a show and try to catch me and make me look bad and try to say I was an alien and all this weird shit. And then she got told on by her own co-host, and she almost got sued and got fired for that situation. I had another woman, it was crazy, threatening me, fell in love with me, and I didn't even talk to her. I was just a fan. She was telling me all kinds of crazy shit. And this is over paranormal shit because she was a fan of her show. People show up to James's house because of his books. Andy loves Corey Feldman. It doesn't matter. I'm just tired of it. I had to do it. I had to throw it in. It's a joke, guys. If you know on We're Screwed, you understand. I just am so sick of this famous shit because we deal with it with other people. We've had people who worked here and went back east and doing the same shit they did here. And these assholes keep letting them go around because they're making money off of them. I'm not going to keep my mouth shut because people want me to. I'm not going to keep their names out of it. But we will say this. They came to us because we know we're going to say something because we don't give a fuck. And we'll say what we want to say. And we've always done that. That's why we're very controversial in the paranormal world altogether. Because we don't lie and we don't back down to nothing. And we never will. You're probably going to make a clackback video. We don't give a fuck because I don't know you and I don't care what you think you're going to do. And I don't care. You could make threats to whatever and make threats to people. No one cares. You know what? In the end, you'll see what happens. Karma's a bitch. That's all I'm going to say. When people like that, I don't care. And I'm just saying within general, I'm not going after anybody's group. They like you said, not all of them are bad, and that's fine. Some of them are not bad. I don't have an issue with them. I'm just saying in general because he said some other guy had nothing to do with this, was harassing him too, and another thing. And I know what that is. I just can't talk about it. It's in general. It always comes back to haunt you in the end. Somebody you're going to pretend to think they're your friends one day are going to get tired of your shit, or they're going to get pissed off of you and screw you over. And it will happen. Your day's coming. Trust me. Something's going to happen. It doesn't matter. Like, it has to be. Somebody's going to get pissed off and say, fuck it, I'm going to show all this proof on. The next day, you're going to wake up to a whole bunch of shit on your people making videos of you on TikTok. Trust me, it happens in the paranormal world. Especially the doll people who think their dolls are haunted. And I'm not saying every one of them, but there's a certain few that they can go down to the store, get a can of alphabet soup, and grab the can and open it and find the D. And that's all I need to say on that. And if you got a problem with it, you know who I am. I'm not worried about you. Trust me. And and that's fine. I get attacked all the time. He does. Who cares? Andy does. This is how we are. We are one of the most controversial fucking shows in the world. I'm a prima donna. I don't give a fuck. I'm crazy, and I'll talk shit. And that's how I am. That's why he came to us. James don't give a fuck either. If it on my screen it points him down there, I don't know if he's not. Andy don't give a fuck. Andy's a pretty tough guy. He might seem, a lot of people take him for granted, think he's just a nice guy. He's not scared. He's not scared of anybody. I'll tell you that right now. None of us are. And we're in our 40s. We're not looking to go beat up anybody. We're fucking men, dude. But when you pick on women, you pick on people who can't defend themselves. You make racial, homophobic slurs. I'm not going to say racial, but you make homophobic slurs. You hate a certain person, then that's a problem. And you're going to have a big problem too. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If that gets out to a certain communities, it can. I've already talked to somebody about it, and they're already riled up about this, which you're going to start soon. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If I hear any more, it's going to get launched on certain people. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what happened, what the situation is. That's on them, what happens. But this talking shit about everyone, going after people, making threats like you're some gang or something, this is getting out of hand. And it's over to be, and like James said, I got to agree with him on this fucking 100%. You watch these fucking TV shows and you think you're fucking famous because Zach Baggins tells you are. And you could do this for $200 in a month. And he's not him. It's other people I see. You can be a private a ghost hunter for $159.99 a week. That's some bullshit. It ain't gonna fucking matter. You don't know what you're dealing with. You never will. I deal with shit that still fucks with me every day. You understand how this has fucked me up? In 10 years, dude, I still have bad dreams every day of what I deal with and it's not fun. I have this shit really does fuck with you. It fucks with your family. It fucks with everybody around you. If you're not ready and you don't know what you're doing, it's going to fucking destroy you in your life. And trust me, when I've seen people get their life destroyed and they still are getting their life destroyed, they're so stupid they don't realize what they've caused on themselves. I'm sorry, but I had to go on this one. And that's what I see. It's just this bullshit on TV, like he said, and I'm not saying everybody that does shows are bullshit. It's just these people watch all these fucking shows and then they go out and try to think they're some private investigator because they bought some equipment at Andy's shop. And then they go out there and fucking think they're an investigator because they saw it on TV. That's what we always deal with. And most of the time, these fucking people don't know what the fuck they're doing. And then they think they do. And then they'll go to people's houses and make it worse. Like, when we'll have to go in there and fix it, and we have. Or they think there's some kind of psychic that charges $1,500 a session and don't do shit and don't buy my book. And then I had to go in there and do it for free. Fuck you. That's the problem with it altogether. It's a lot of these shows. And I'm not, like I said, I don't hate any of these shows. You got to make your money. And some of these people I actually are cool with. But there's some people that need to start coming out about this shit because you're getting people hurt. You're getting people where they're fucking afraid now that there's certain people going to go after them because there's some kind of big bad name on the side that has some radio shows like James. Me and James right now can make a fucking radio show. Right now, we're on a show right now. It's being played over the fucking world. He could go by right now because he's a real fucking person that has money. And I hate to say that, but he could fucking do it and do what he wants with it. And we could have our own show. He could go on Mixler right now or Apple or King Kong Dong or whatever the fuck shows there are. There's so many fucking different ones out there. But he could do it. And so could I. Who gives a fuck? Wow. What? We could do the same thing. We could call it fucking Staring Into the Abyss on YouTube or fucking whatever out there. I don't know. Fucking I'm exhausted from getting mad. But that being said, that's all I got to say. I'm sorry, guys, but this issue pissed me off because I don't like people who bully women.
Another point in this, and one of the reasons I said nobody should be working with these idiots, is when you go into an investigation with this kind of negativity, lying, hostile energy, all this shit, right? When you bring all of this into an investigation, all you're doing is putting everybody around you at risk. Because anything evil, malevolent, demonic, anything like that is going to feed off of that negativity. They're going to come at you like a fucking homing missile. And you're wide open for them. So anybody around you is in danger on any investigation you go on. And you might think, well, it's not like I'm going to, the Amityville house or something, or just going down the street to Joe Blow's Sanitarium or whatever the fuck it is. It ain't a bad place. Doesn't matter, man. You could be sitting in your own house. It doesn't matter where you are. Once that doorway is opened up, they can come from anywhere. They will home in on your stupid ass. And you're putting everybody around you in danger. So that's why I'm saying don't work with people like this, man. If you got somebody that's just constant negativity, threatening people, acting stupid, doing all this nonsense, go the other fucking direction, dude. For your own safety and for the safety of your family, go the other direction. Because these people will end up with attachments. These people will end up getting their lives ruined by things that they don't even understand. Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Because if they knew what they were doing, they wouldn't be involved in the paranormal acting that way. Before we go into an investigation, before we go into a haunted location, stuff like that, we sit, we pray, we cleanse, we get our shit together. We make sure that we're right before we go in. And then again before we leave. We check on each other. We pray together. We make sure we're okay. If you got any bullshit going on, your wife's bitching about the fucking garbage or some nonsense, you're all fucking pissed off and riled up about it. How dare that fucking woman talk to me like that? Don't she know I pay all the bills in this motherfucker? Some bullshit like that. Every man in the world has gone through it. Where your fucking woman is just nagging the shit out of you and you're pissed off. Right? Doesn't mean she's a bad person. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. You're not some evil cult leader for that. It's just negative emotion. If you go into an investigation all fucked in your head over some nonsense, some argument you're having, it's not even to this level of bullshit, right? It's just small shit where you're just upset. If you go into an investigation like that, you're putting yourself and your team at risk. I can promise you that. I can tell you, me and Andy have sat together before we went into place, and I have told Andy, dude, I'm not right in the fucking head right now. I'm all fucked up over this, that, or the other thing. I'm all fired up, man. We need to sit and you need to talk to me a little bit. Because I need to get right before we go in here. That's real shit. You don't see that on these TV shows. You don't hear about that from idiots like these people that don't know what the fuck they're doing, right? That's the real shit. So what I'm telling you is anybody who's acting like this and doing all this nonsense, don't fucking work with them. Don't join their groups. Don't do investigations with them. Don't be involved with these kind of people. Because if you do, you're putting yourself at risk. Because this is whether you guys believe it or not, I don't really care anymore, honestly. But whether you believe it or not, this is a dangerous fucking job we do. And every time you're going on an investigation, every time you're trying to help somebody, every time you're in one of these locations, you are in a lot of fucking danger. You may not be smart enough to realize it, but you're in a lot of fucking danger. The only thing keeping you safe is knowledge and experience of the people around you that know what the fuck they're doing. So beyond just the fact that these people piss you off over this, that, or the other thing, you got to realize what we do. In this field, man, you can't be fucking around. Because you know what happens when you fuck around, you find out. And you might fuck around with an old redneck or something and get your ass whipped, right? But you fuck around with a demonic thing, that's worse. You're going to end up really hurting. You're going to end up with your marriage ruined, your finances ruined. You're going to lose your job. You're going to lose your house. You're going to get sick. You might lose your life. That's real shit. We've worked cases where we've helped people that are going through that kind of shit. We lost somebody. Andy can tell you, we worked a case and we lost the guy because he did not want the help. We saved his wife, we saved his daughter, but we lost him to one of these demonic pieces of shit. It's real. It ain't nothing to play with. So with that being said, I'm going to throw over you guys, let you do your shout-outs, and we're going to wrap this puppy up. So, Andy, go ahead, brother. And I won't forget you this time, old boy.
Yeah, he's watching Ghost Adventures right now because I think that's where he's going for Thanksgiving. So, Corey Feldman playing the Thanksgiving party or what? But anyway, you know, we have fun, man, when we do this, but we are serious. And yes, he's telling the God's honest truth. We did lose someone because, you know, they wanted help. They didn't want help. They wanted help. Things were happening. We had experiences that we know that there was something really bad going on. I can tell you that, like, the young daughter was actually in a asylum. I mean, pretty much that was getting messed with, and you know, in the long run, thank God that them two were good. But this gentleman, man, we knew him. I knew him from the time he was, I don't know, middle school, maybe something like that. And he had been through things that you would think some people would have, you know, that would have died, hit by a car, all kinds of crazy stuff. So anyway, but unfortunately we lost him, and God bless him, and you know, but it is real. And the thing is, I did this tonight. My number one reason for doing this tonight was because I felt like that the ones that feel like they can't talk, or they do, because one of them, she doesn't hold back. But the thing is, my thing is, yeah, you know, I never thought about the aspect, and thank you guys for bringing that up, of the danger when you take that kind of stuff in. But see, the whole biggest reason was I care deeply for these people that have been attacked. You know, I've seen it. I've tried to stay out of it. You know, the man, you know, just because I might be somebody different, you know, in certain circumstances or situations, when I'm putting something on Facebook that I'm trying to be positive about, or something like that, or, you know, I used to be on my own podcast that I would, you know, with another person, and we promoted that kind of stuff, you know, love, light, shadow work, and, you know, all that. And it all comes back to be a better person, and that way you can be better, you know, to help people if you're in the paranormal field. But I knew I'm going to Pennhurst tomorrow, and most of you, I'm sure, know what that place is. And I wanted to get this off of my chest because I didn't want to carry that in there. And being a person that formed a paranormal team, and James can tell you, one of our rules is that if you're really upset about something or going through something, then you don't go on the investigation, because we're going to have plenty more to do. And it does piss people off sometimes. But the thing is, in the long run, you know, I would rather have you, you know, mad at me, but still with me and not, you know, screwed up. And, you know, we lost a team member because they did not have the experience. Not lost them as in their life, but this person was definitely out in left field for a while, you know, because they had gotten, you know, an energy on them that was luring them back to a very, you know, scary place, wanting them to come in, wanting them to come back, you know, travel 3 to 4 hours to go to the same location. This person ended up, man, out in the parking lot trying to talk other teams and letting them come in with them. I mean, it got crazy, you know? And so he's exactly right, that don't work with people, man. If you see all this drama around them, even if some of it is truth that they're talking about, there's obviously, especially with this gentleman, there's a common denominator for the last however long, 2 years, a little less, that always a victim, always something happening. And, you know, they've attacked other organizations that were doing, charity events and stuff like that, don't work with them. You love yourself enough to do that. And I think that's where it comes in at, is that, he preys on people, man, in my opinion. This is all opinion, but a lot of people agree with it. Like I said, that want to be part of something. There's nothing wrong with that you want to be part of a bigger picture. But choose that wisely. And the first time that you feel like you're hating on somebody because somebody tells you to hate them, unless you witness it yourself, that should be a red flag. And my shout out today goes to the individuals that have not stood down from these type of people. The individuals that have, even though they feel like they're shunned, these women that's been bullied, know that I'm here always. That's not trying to make myself look better. That's the truth. But also, most of them have stood up to this dumbass. And I'm proud of you. And that's the shout out, is doesn't matter if you're 100 pounds, soaking wet, female, frail as it is, you have a voice and you deserve the respect, unless you do something disrespectful. But thank God that you stood up to them, even if it makes you look shitty in some ways. Don't let people do this. And that's another reason why I'm here, is that I do not believe in that shit. I think it's a elementary move until you get to the point of costing somebody to actually have PTSD and stuff. And if you get off on that, then you're a sick fucking individual. That's all there is to it. And I have a feeling that part of that is this person. This person also, Rob took a friend that I used to have that I love dearly still. And if she would ever see this, she knows who she is. And I would still do anything for her. And this individual changed within no time at all, and now has lost. Yes, she may have gained friends who she thinks is, but I can promise you that if anything stands ever in the way of this man, he's going to shit on you just like the rest of them. And I will still be here to catch you if you need it. And that's not me trying to be big or bad, but I'm at a point with this individual, man, with Rob and the whole Get Haunted situation that, man, at first I thought it was going to be awesome. Man, that'll be a good organization. Looks like they're doing good stuff and this and that. And then all of a sudden, man, you start seeing where, they're sending people out to, like one of them come in my store last year because he was sent there by Rob to check the place out and stuff like that. Well, why my word on telling you it's a nice place and a great location wasn't enough? Why are you sending people in there? Anyway, get off that. We're done with the night when it comes to that. What I want to say is for the people that have stood up to these bullies and stuff, you're awesome. I'm proud of you, but also know that you have support. All three of us here, even if we don't know you, and we hear your story and we know that, you need that extra little push or something, we're here for you. We're no big famous people or nothing like that, but we're known and we've been in it for a long time and we take pride in that. And I take pride in you all for going after it. The individual that, came out and told people, yes, I'm gay. And, that takes a lot of freaking, guts to do. I don't think that this person was hiding it really, but hadn't announced it. But the thing was, you got this dickhead that's going to go out and try to, spin that around and make it look bad. Good for you for standing up. Good for you to do by doing it in a professional manner as well, from what I understand, and leaving it at that. A shout out to his business. I'm leaving names out. I wish I wouldn't with that, but anyway, for the people that will see this that know I'm talking about, go to his events, man. The one that I'm talking about, not Rob, But the other one, and show support to them and tell them, you know, even just stopping by and saying, man, you got a great thing going here, goes a long way. And that's the way it should be. Anyway, and I want to give a shout out to these two individuals right here for allowing me to come on and do this tonight. There was a lot of, you know, hesitation, worried about, you know, backlash to a point, and that was on a legal basis. But the thing is, you know, I've said how it is. This isn't a harassment. This isn't trying to hurt somebody. This is putting a warning out that other people don't get hurt, and that's what matters. So I thank these guys for allowing me to come on here. I do have another show with them that we do, but this one here is their two of them. It's their show. And I'm very humbled and thankful for coming on. So, yeah, guys, do what you got to do with these people.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming on the show, Andy. I'm glad you came on. I enjoyed it. Yeah, this stuff needs to be out for some of these people who keep talking shit and causing all this drama. It's a good show, and I'm glad we did it. I want to thank everybody on Parax Radio who always listens to us every Sunday night at 12 a.m. Eastern, 9 Pacific, and the Best of show at 8 Pacific Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Sorry, I probably fucked that up. But and thank you for listening to us on YouTube, Spotify. Check us out on We're Screwed on Spotify and YouTube. It's a controversial show. We talk about a lot of controversial things, and that's why Andy was talking about. He's on that show. He absolutely loves talking about Corey Feldman and Pauly Shore, so that's what we always talk about. That being said, I want to give a shout out to this gentleman right here. If he's on my box the way it looks like, he's on me, is James Hershey, for being one of the best voices in the world. Thank you, Andy, for being one of the best co-hosts in the world. I want to thank everybody who watches us, everyone, even you, Tiny Tim. I will be home for Christmas, but have a good night, Misfits, Chiglays, Monster Livers, and Demon Hunters. Oh yeah, I forgot. Subscribe to our YouTube page and James Hershey page. Just fucking subscribe, and if you want merchandise, he'll tell you where to go. Thank you guys. Have a good night, Misfits, Chiglays, and Monster Livers. I love you, and have a good night. Blessed be, fuckers.
What's funny is he always says that. He always says, if you want merchandise, he'll tell you where to go, and I never fucking tell you where to go. Like, never do it. He always, like, every show he tells me, he tells everybody that. Like, I guess he's trying to say, hey, fucker, tell him where to go. And then, like, I always forget, and I'm old, dude. I don't remember shit that well anymore. But he always tells, so let me say right now where to go. In the comment section of every YouTube video is a link to the store. If you want that shit, you can go get that shit. It's good shit. It's not bad shit. You know, I just don't give a shit. If you want it, I said shit a lot of fucking times, didn't I? And that's like 100 shits. Anyway, if you want that shit, go get that shit. Now I'm just saying just to be an asshole. I don't care if you do or don't. You know, we made it so that the people that do want it, because we had a lot of people ask for merch and stuff. So I made a store. It's priced just above what I pay for it, so I ain't making nothing on it. So it's whatever, man. If you guys want it, it's there for you. If you don't, that's cool. You can subscribe to the channel if you want on YouTube, youtube.com/James Hershey Jr. You just click that little button and you're good to go. If you don't, I don't care about that either. If you want to, cool. If you don't, then that's fine. You're welcome to watch for free. I don't ever charge for nothing. You know, I made money off my books. I did all right. I'm good. I don't need your money. You know what I mean? I just want to have a conversation with you. I just want to sit here and hang out and talk about shit that we like and that we're passionate about. Maybe you're passionate about it too, and we can have a conversation. You know, as far as this shit that happened tonight, like my only point was, and these guys can back it up, you know, I didn't have any real hesitation to do the show. I just made the point that, you know, if we do this, there's probably going to be backlash. And also, I don't want to do a half-ass show. Like, I don't like doing those shows where you're talking about somebody, but you can't mention their name. That bullshit, right? I said, if we're going to fucking do it, I want to do it. Say who the fuck it is. Because what good does it do to warn people if they don't know who the fuck you're talking about? You know? So just understand, if we're doing the show, say the fucker's name and be prepared for whatever the fuck happens. You know what I mean? Because you're always going to get bullshit. You know what I mean? People think that they give you a death threat, it's supposed to scare you or shut you up. Dude, I get so many fucking death threats, dude. Just add it to the pile. I got a shit ton. Old boy said it. I've had people come to my fucking house before. trying to see me. You know what I mean? And it is what it is, bro. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of any fucking body. I've already died before. I know where I'm going when I die. I ain't stressing. You know what I mean? So whatever happens, happens. I really don't care. But the point, I guess, is thank you for watching. Maybe that's the point. I don't really know what the fuck my point is anymore, to be honest with you. I just been kind of rattling on. I'm tired, dude. I was telling these guys earlier, I can't ever get enough fucking sleep. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm just old. But like last night we did We're Screwed. And as soon as I finished the show, I got off as soon as I could. I mean, Andy was fucking, you guys know from this show, and if you watch We're Screwed, Andy gets to talking, and he's one of them old Southern gentlemen. He kind of, he moseys along on a conversation, so he talks slow and low and forever, right? So he's just going on and on about this shit last night, and I'm sitting there trying to be a good friend, because I've known this fucker since high school, and I'm sitting there listening, and I'm trying to pay attention, but my eyes are getting heavy, and I'm starting to nod a little bit. I'm like, fuck, I'm tired. I got to go to sleep. And they just kept on going and going and going. And then old boy's sang, and then Andy's sang. And I was like, all right, hey, listen, fuck, I got to go to bed. Y'all can argue about this shit later after I'm off here, right? And what I meant was not that like they were actually arguing, just like they were debating, talking it over. And I'm like, y'all can talk that shit over later. I'm fucking tired. I got to go to bed, dude. I'm going to fall out of this fucking chair. So that's what's going on with me is I just can't seem to get enough sleep. You know, I wake up 7 o'clock in the morning, wide awake, ready to conquer the day, and I just cannot. No matter how early I go to bed, it's like I can't sleep that long before I'm back awake. But you don't really give a shit about that. So whatever, guy. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Tune in next week, I guess. You know, if this blows up into some crazy shit, we'll do some more shows about it. You know what I mean? And we'll put up the receipts and we'll show you guys exactly what the fuck is going on. I got nothing to hide. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm not afraid of anything. I wasn't always a nice guy. I was the kind of guy that would beat you into hamburger and then wipe my feet on you. You know what I mean? That's who I was. So I'm not the kind of guy that has a spotless fucking past. I'm sure there's plenty of scary, scary shit to look up on me that I've done. You know what I mean? I've never, been arrested for anything or any of that bullshit, but I wasn't always a good guy. You know what I mean? I own everything I've ever done. You know, thank God I died. I'll say that right now. Thank God I died. Because dying and what I saw when I died, and you can watch that video on the YouTube channel if you guys want to know the whole story. It's long. I don't want to get into it. But what I saw when I died brought me back to Christ and brought me back to the church and saved my life. Honestly, dying was the best thing that ever happened to me. It completely changed me. You know, old boy knows me now. Andy knows me before. Andy knew me when I was an asshole. Andy knew me when I was the kind of guy that would just like, go fuck yourself and just hit you in the back of the head with a bat. I don't give a fuck. You know, that's who I used to be. And Andy knew that guy. I was also a good guy, but Andy was kind of that guy too, to be honest with you. No bullshit. You know what I mean? We've had little fights before. So he wasn't always a choir boy either. But Andy knew that guy. And he knows me now. And I'm a completely different person than I used to be. You know, and that's not me. That's not me being a great guy. That's not me. Look at how good I've done in my life. No, dude, that's God. That's Jesus Christ. That's who saved me. And thank God that he loved me enough to kill me. Because if he wouldn't have killed me, I'd still be an asshole. Well, I'm probably still an asshole, but I would be an unsaved asshole. You know what I mean? And I was not a nice guy. And I like this guy a lot better than who I used to be. You know, so my message to everybody and my message to these ladies is don't give up hope. You know, don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. It may feel like that sometimes. It may feel like you can never come back. It may feel like the whole fucking world's against you. But it doesn't matter if the whole world's against you if God is with you. You know what I'm saying? And God loves you. And so do we. Good night, everybody.
In order for the light to shine so brightly, the darkness must be present. Tune in every Monday at 10 o'clock for Dark Sun Rising on the ParaX Radio Network.
Hey, this is Lee.
And this is Michelle.
And this is Dustin from the Dead Zone.
your source for everything paranormal. Para X.